Singapore's economic slowdown isn't just a temporary dip, it's a structural challenge rooted in decades of state control and fiscal orthodoxy. While the government boasts of consistent budget surpluses, many Singaporean households are feeling the pinch from rising costs in healthcare, housing, and education. Employers, too, are struggling, with nearly 3 in 5 planning hearing freezes in 2026, citing manpower costs as their biggest challenge. This paradox, where the state accumulates wealth but citizens and businesses face mounting pressures, has led to what author Liang Shihan calls a policy trap. In this video, we'll explore how fiscal surpluses, wage-linked retirement burdens, and asset inflation have shaped today's stagnation, and why breaking free will require bold reforms and greater transparency. Singapore's government has long prided itself on fiscal discipline, consistently running large surpluses. But as Liang Shihan points out, these surpluses are often locked away in reserves instead of being reinvested into social safety nets. The result? Citizens face rising costs in essential areas like healthcare, housing, and education, while employers are burdened by wage-linked costs that discourage hiring. Paradox is clear: fiscal prudence at the state level translates into stagnation for households and businesses. Employers hesitate to expand, hearing freezes become common, and wage moderation is normalized. This scene sets the stage for understanding how fiscal orthodoxy, while seemingly responsible, can actually deepen economic challenges for ordinary Singaporeans. Central Provident Fund (CPF) is often described as a pillar of Singapore's self-reliant retirement system. However, Liang Shihan argues that CPF is a form of forced savings that inflates manpower costs and compounds inequality. Employers must contribute a significant portion of wages to CPF, which they cite as a top challenge. For workers, CPF feels like inaccessible savings, locked away until old age, worsening financial insecurity. This wage-linked burden discourages hiring, especially among small businesses, and contributes to the normalization of wage freezes. As CPF costs rise but wages stagnate, both employers and employees find themselves squeezed, highlighting the need for a more flexible and accessible retirement system. Singapore's housing policies have enabled widespread homeownership, but asset inflation has made million-dollar HDB flats increasingly common. This rise in housing prices has outpaced wage growth, deepening inequality and pressuring families to stretch their finances. At the same time, healthcare inflation has consistently outstripped wage increases, creating a silent crisis for both households and employers. Subsidies and budget allocations often mask underfunding, leaving many to struggle with rising medical bills. Employers cite both housing and healthcare-linked manpower costs as major challenges, reinforcing the cycle of wage moderation and hearing restraint. These twin pressures on housing and healthcare highlight the urgent need for policy reforms that prioritize affordability and security for all Singaporeans. Labor market liberalization has led to heavy reliance on foreign workers, with 90% of recent job growth going to non-citizens. While this has helped employers manage costs, it has also suppressed local wage growth and fueled public resentment. The National Wages Council (NWC) further institutionalizes wage moderation, with employers using its guidelines to justify wage freezes. This top-down approach to wage control limits labor market dynamism and erodes consumer demand, reinforcing the cycle of stagnation. As Singapore faces these intertwined challenges, the need for transparency, reform, and citizen empowerment becomes ever more urgent. Only by breaking the policy trap can Singapore restore growth and shared prosperity.